Grumpy Scotsman coming at you with another video on watches. What we have today is the legendary Rolex Submariner. And I literally just decided to do all of this on the computer. I no longer have a Rolex Submariner in my possession. I've owned 4 of them in my collecting time, and I can't visualize getting another one anytime soon, that's for sure. So nonetheless, I wanted to do a review on it, and this is just as good, to be honest. And so what are we going to talk about today? Well, I want to talk about my experiences. So I actually got into collecting because of looking at National Geographics, and I came across a lot of Submariner ads, Rolex Submariner ads, and it just captivated me as a kid, as a young man or a boy. And I wanted the watch. And so I always aspired to get a Rolex Submariner. And so yes, Rolex advertising works 100%. And with that being said, my first watch that I got was a 2004 model. And I was underwhelmed when I first got it. I got it, it was so basic and simple. Back then, it was like the old style clasp and the chintzy hollowed out bracelet. It did have solid end links, but yeah, it was an old style bracelet, and it was very underwhelming. I looked at it and it had the aluminum bezel. I was like, wow, all this money and like all this time waiting for it, and I was just really underwhelmed. It also had the smaller crown guards, which I prefer. I truly prefer that style. Anyways, long story short, I ended up that next 2 years or whatever, they were coming out with the ceramic version, or a couple of years later, and so I upgraded. I traded to an authorized dealer, my old model, and paid a couple grand to on top of it to get the new one. But then when I got the new one, I didn't like that the lugs were quite a bit larger and thicker. These crown guards didn't make any sense. They look a lot worse than the older version of the model. The only true improvements that I really enjoyed was the ceramic bezel and this new style clasp and bracelet. Other than that, I kind of wished that I had just kept the old one. So then I decided that I no longer wanted this. I wore it for a half year and I was like, nope, I don't dig this. And so I went back to my authorized dealer and I traded this for the new Explorer 2 with the orange hand. And yeah, I got that. And there was a lot that I didn't like about that watch. So I just ended up getting out of Rolex for quite a while. And then I ended up getting the older model that I had first got, but it was a little beat up and it wasn't as good quality as that first one. So I got rid of it. And then I didn't get anything. I just started collecting and doing other models. Like I ended up getting into Breitling, Omega, and the rabbit hole of Seiko and Grand Seiko. But then I missed this model, and I seen on my local marketplace there was somebody selling a bluesy. And the economy was kind of tanking and COVID was happening and all that, and he just needed some money and needed out of that watch. So I bought it for a great price. And I wore that watch for a couple weeks, but I didn't like it because the 18 karat center links and all the gold on it scratched really easy. And so the market was starting to climb really high because all the Rolex models were becoming scarce, and I made a couple bucks on it. And yeah, so that's my story of the Submariner. And ever since I haven't really desired to get back into it because of the whole headache and game that I can see being played online and the exorbitant price for what I know is a pretty basic watch. Yeah, it's a beauty, it's a tank. But at the end of the day, if you've owned and been collecting for a long time, the Subby is pretty frickin' basic. It's a classic, beautiful design, and I like what it's done for horology and the watch industry as a whole, but at any rate, that's my story of Rolex Submariners. And we're just going to go and get into some pricing here. So this is eBay, and here you have a good idea. This is an older 16610 model for $12,230. I know eBay isn't really looked at as a watch center anymore, but I wanted to bring it up nonetheless. I'm in Canada, so it's kind of showing my price here. This is currently at $97.14. It's trending at $15.3, it says. Here's an older bluesy with the thinner lugs, and yeah, this is an older one. A 16613 bluesy at $12.3. So yeah, there's some prices on eBay. Now, which one is this? This is Chrono 24. So this will give a better idea and what we have here. There you go. $17,000. I mean, 17,000. It's crazy. This is their new model. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable spending $17,000 to have a luxury watch shipped to me and to be wondering the entire time if it's a Frankenstein, real, or what. I know there's a lot of safety measures put in now, and it is a safer game than what it was when I was really deep into collecting, but yiza, no thank you. I don't know if is that a cracked pip? Certainly looks that way, doesn't it? Hey, I gotta read on this now. I'm invested. What does it say? Notice watch is located in Canada. 12% GST and PST for British Columbians. Yikes. That's crazy, folks. Hey, we get screwed here in Canada. Like, everything's so expensive in Canada, and our tax rates are astronomical. Okay, well, that's just an idea, and so we'll go back. Here's a Hulk, 19,000. Here's an older 16610, 11,000. A 1460, no date, 10 grand. And so they're up there. Yikes, hey? I think I would rather, unless you're just dying to get one, I would rather just wait to get it I would go on a waiting list. And yeah, I just go on a waiting list. Be really nice to them and kind. I don't know. Bring them like, don't bring them Tim Hortons donuts or anything like that, but like go to a really nice donut place and that makes good coffee as well, and bring them donuts and coffee and get on there. Don't give them some stupid fucking sob story about some reason why you detrimentally need to get a watch. But just be real. Be like a good guy. And I'm sure that you get bumped up the list and you get a watch without having to jump through hoops. Sometimes that's all you need to do, folks, is just be real. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about some of the new watches. So let's go through that. And the GMT Master 2. God, this is a sexy watch. It just is beauteous. Beauteous. I've kind of gone through my GMT phase. I have owned Grand Seiko GMT, and I've owned a Squale GMT, a Longines GMT. Oh my God. What else? My brain is just not working, but I have owned a lot of GMTs. Oh, an Omega GMT. Oh, come on. Come on, Grumpy Scotsman. Lots. Lots and lots. And I think it's just run its course. Unless you legitimately need the GMT function, I just don't see, like... I owned all those GMTs, and I legit really never used it. And I went on vacation with them, and I just never used it. Yeah, look at this. Oh my God, that's just gorgeous. Oh, that's beautiful. You know, guys, they do a gorgeous, gorgeous job of their finishing. They make solid watches. Like, they're pretty plain Jane. So I know that I said that I got my subby and I was really underwhelmed. But I think when you're waiting and you're growing up and you're like, you're dreaming about something and then you finally get it in your hand and it's like less than what you dreamt about and you're underwhelmed, it's easy to be let down. So we're just on the Rolex site here. We're just gonna talk and look. This is all their new Grand Black Cerachrome bezel insert. 2-color 24-hour graduated Cerachrome insert in gray and black ceramic. Oh, I see. So it's just a 2-tone bezel. Is that the only change here? I was going to ask, like, what's new about this? But that would be what's new. The molded recess graduations and numerals are coated with platinum via PVD, physical vapor deposition, making them clearly visible. Okay. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I like it. It really works. Very masculine, beautiful watch. You know, if I'm being honest, folks, they regurgitate this case so many times. Here, let me go back. So if we go back here, look at how thick this is. Oh my God. I don't mind the lugs being a little thicker, but this here, it just is kind of an eyesore, and I wish they would just go back to the more trimmed in, thin protectors, because the chrome guards or crown guards, because it just looks abnormal. It's too thick. It's not necessary. It's not protecting it anymore. And if they just trimmed it up, like right to here, right where the arrow ends, like right to there, make it like the old style lugs and then keep these beefed up lugs down here. It would be huge and it would look better. They look at how thick they are. It looks silly. I know that it seems normal now because they've been in play for such a long time. And then if you look back over here, like it's just a regurgitated case that they're using for the GMT. And so I wish that it would just be trimmed up a little. It would be a little more elegant, a little more classy, and it would still serve the same purpose. That's my 2 cents. Look at that brushing. How gorgeous is that? You know, they were notoriously known for shitty bracelets, but you can't say that for a very long time anymore. These bracelets that they make are built to last a lifetime. Look at that beefy lug, Art Crown Guard. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Oh, here we go. I don't know about you folks, so I've owned, like I said, several Submariners, and this has the same case. That tip right there is sharp. Like, that is a sharp diggy tip, and you'll know exactly what I mean if you've owned one, that's for sure. Wow, it's beautiful. The green 24-hour hand. I guess that's a selling point, highlighting our connection to the world. Oyster or Jubilee. All right, you get them on both. And we got the 3285. That is a sexy ass movement. I know a lot of people say that Rolex movements aren't too pretty to look upon. I would argue that, you know what, not only are these movements very robust, easy to work on, and fucking last a lifetime, but they are actually beautiful. Like polished chamfers, directional brushing, all the contours, everything's really thought out. It's got one thing I love when I look for solid watch movements is a full bridge, and this is a full bridge right here. I don't like, to me, it's a shitty watch design if it's just anchored in one spot and floating out in the middle of nowhere without this here. So a full bridge to me, if you know your movements, is a big plus. A big plus. Ooh, what do we got? What is... Okay. Is this... What am I seeing? Here and there at the same time. Is this new? Or what's new here? It says 6 key dates for an icon. Oh, I see. They're just giving the history of the Pepsi. So 55, launch of the GMT Master. 59, plexiglass for increased resistance to scratches and shocks. 82, new movement. Introduction of a new caliber that allowed the hour hand to be adjusted independently of the minute hand and the 24-hour hand. That's a huge change. You're not seeing it on screen, but it goes to 2025 for ceramic bezel. Anyways, we'll move on because you can't see it. That's not fair. With its latest creations, Rolex brings a fresh new look to some of its most iconic models. Wow, that's gorgeous. That Tiffany dial, what is it called? A guilloche. The knurling on the dial. That's gorgeous. And then, oh wow. I love that actually. Let's take a peekaboo. Wow, folks. I am impressed. Is that not just sexy? Oh, I wasn't expecting this searching with you guys, but holy moly. That is freaking absolutely beautiful. I love Rolex. You know what? Uh, look at how beautiful that is. Exhibition case back with, that's probably what, like a 18 karat gold rotor. Hell yeah. Oh man, Rolex. That is just freaking beautiful. So, okay. Okay. That's all I really wanted to go through with you guys. Oh, I was going to talk the waiting list. I was researching the waiting list, and I think with the economy being so tight and Rolex prices going down on the gray market substantially, um, I think that the waiting lists aren't so bad. Like, I was reading all over, and it's about the same consensus, really. Like the Submariner, it says here, Submariner, yeah, 3 months to 3 years. That's pretty subjective. Like, that's a huge gap. But I actually phoned my authorized dealer here, and I phoned a few more across Canada. And here in Canada, at any rate, it's about a year and around there, sometimes more. Because, yeah, people just don't have the money anymore to spend on luxury goods like they used to. Daytona, 1 to 5 years. I asked the question again, and it was about 2 years to 3 years, depending on the Daytona that you want specifically. There's a lot that people just are trying, like, flippers are trying to scoop up and sell on the secondary market. So when they screen hard, it's usually for a Daytona, because that's what flippers tend to make the most money on, actually, not Submariners. Datejusts, yeah, you can get a Datejust pretty quick. Those are dime a dozen, depending on the dial iteration that you're looking for. And then finally, the GMT Master 2 and also the Pepsi is around a year and a half to 2 years in around there. And so that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. Love you guys so much, and have a great day.